Life is permanence in impermanence. Death is as much life as life is death. It surrounds us every moment of our being. Every breath you take, you exhale again. That is the being born, dying dynamic that is ever at the present. We became fearful of life because we only see one side of it. Death just means to let go, nothing else, whatever that is. The willingness to embrace the unknown. For the knowing mind, this is a frightening aspect, because we always want to have some security to our story. What happens to me when I die? What happens to my kids when I am not there anymore? And so on and so forth. From a mind perspective, this seems cruel at first, but holding on to something that is clearly impermanent just means to deal with its nature. And the nature of it is that it comes and goes. So the nature of ourselves, to remember who we are, is that you are not that impermanent thing that comes and goes, but the permanence of witnessing it that stands behind it. Trust me, we all have fears and regrets in life. We have forgotten ourselves. This planet seems alien to us for that reason. We are frightened of our future because we don't understand this life-death dynamic anymore. It's all a mind game. Life is ever with you, and it presents itself in all sorts of ways. What is life? An experience. Why? To experience. What for? To know thyself through experiences. The ego is unable to answer the existential questions, so to come to any fundamental realization is to shift consciousness up, so you're able to see what the egoic mind cannot. The question is essentially the answer, as in, shift the state of not knowing to a state of knowing, by recognizing your state of being in the moment. The only real knowledge is knowledge of the self. All other so-called knowledge is birthed from the egoic mind consuming and collecting information with no actual application or embodiment. To apply oneself is to be yourself. Literally, be yourself, and what's experienced will be a reflection of being what you are. The shift will go from life is happening to you to life is happening for you. The human experience is serving you rather you trying to fit into it. Which feels more free, to have something be of service for you, or you trying to conform to a role? The simulation is very much interactive and responsive when you're a creator rather than a reactor consumer. Express and share your authenticity, and your life will be reflective of it. It's a one-to-one ratio. You get what you put out. Emanate love, and you'll experience your own emanation. You're essentially drinking from your own infinite and abundant stream rather than looking elsewhere to be nourished. The source of the desire is the same exact source of fulfillment within. Take time to smell the roses. Instead of jumping ahead to completing a task, be mindful of the process as you're experiencing it. It's all those moments where you're in your head and not being present, like the commute to work or walking to the restroom or doing your laundry or right now reading this. These mundane moments just become a blur and being taken for granted. To experience anything here is to first be here to experience. Expand perspective to out of this world, to not get too caught up to what's happening inside of it. Relay the bigger picture to every single moment to make it all purposeful. The process of manifesting is finding whatever your goal is in the present moment and making it bigger. Let's say you're in bed and you want to get a glass of water. Traditionally, we'd think we'd have to get out of bed, put on our slippers, open our bedroom door, walk down the hallway, grab a glass, turn on the faucet, and fill the glass, and then we have a glass of water. That's just what it looks like. In reality, from the bedroom, the glass of water is already present in a different form. It may be the combination of your thirst, how your blanket is scrunched just so under your elbow, and the random thought that's running through your head about the day you just had. From your bed, you're not doing anything but bringing these smaller things together to make the glass of water bigger, more experienceable in your reality. The process of bringing these things together looks like all of the steps above, but the movement is an illusion. You're not getting a glass of water, you're seeing how the glass of water is already in your reality. It's the same with any occurrence. The lower state of consciousness may be perceived as hellish, as it's the opposite of our true nature of high consciousness. So to return to your nature is to raise consciousness back up prior to lowering down to attune to the physical reality. Since what we are by nature isn't physical, consciousness may feel trapped in the lower ranges as true freedom is operating in the higher levels. As such, heaven can also be experienced when tuning back up. The earthly realm is an opportunity to realize what you really are by recognizing what you are not. In the realm of absolutes, this isn't possible, as a light amongst light is just default and wouldn't be known as light. Self-realization, enlightenment, occurs through the contrast. Isn't the desire to achieve part of the flow of life? If life had no desire to achieve, it would have remained in its natural state of dead elements exploded out of dying stars and floating around in space. I don't even think you can learn to meditate without discipline. If you think about it, everything you do after you wake up in the morning is about your life achieving its own unfolding within the greater unfolding of the universe around you. An awakened person is just someone who's come home to their own full humanity. All they've awakened from is the limited view of themselves as a skin-encapsulated ego. To paraphrase a popular saying, before awakening, struggle. After awakening, struggle. The main thing that changes is that the awakened struggle is beautiful and without self-pity. I think we're always in a state of synchronicity. The laws of the universe, including the psychological laws of nature, can never be out of alignment. It's all in how you look at it. An auto accident can be a synchronicity if you see how the various factors came into play to bring it about. Paying attention to intuition, maybe you avoid an accident. The awesome and intricate play of natural forces from the edge of the universe to the centers of our minds is just one big synchronicity in action. When our psychic energy is low, we sometimes fall into the "what's the point of it all" pit. It really has nothing to do with whether life is an illusion or has some purpose to give it meaning. It's really about losing connection with the centers of our beings, the source of our psychic energy, the energy that makes life feel meaningful and real. Saying it's all illusion is the same as saying it's all real. If it's all illusion, what real thing could you possibly be comparing it to? Wondering what's around the next bend keeps me motivated. Life itself keeps me motivated. Thinking about what motivated a bunch of supposedly dead elements like carbon and iron to mix with water and become alive keeps me motivated. Life is like nested dolls of mystery upon mystery, all part of your world to explore. There is no such thing as pure positivity, since positivity would not exist without its opposite. It sounds like spiritual bypassing to pretend there is no negative side against which we hone the positive side. Light bulbs don't have shadows either. The earth and the moon both have shadows. Are they less real than the sun? A place no human could survive. Someone who believes pure positivity is their nature has probably never done any shadow work. Not only that, but their shadow is probably going to be projected onto others to safeguard the lie of their own pure positivity. Realizing there is no moral universe, the idea of God watching over everything, is one of the heaviest realizations you can have. With God's punishment off the table, what's to stop you from doing whatever you want? And why are you judging someone else for doing wrong? You could come up with a code of honor for yourself and even write it down if that helps. But if you can keep centered with a clear mind and an open heart, your best nature will unfold on its own. The concept of no self only makes sense in contrast to the concept of self. We are paradoxical beings, transitory selves in constant flux. We are our thoughts and our bodies and our experiences and what we've interpreted from all that, and what we've learned and had the courage to put into practice. Luckily, it's not just up to us, since our cells are in charge, putting us all together with DNA as their toolkit. We imagine ourselves to be only our minds, or even our minds plus our bodies, all pulsing with life. This incredible mystery of being. Is a tornado a thing? A self? What is a tornado that has played itself out? Who are you when your mind has played itself out? Poof. What's left? Surrendering means getting out of your own way. If you're surrendering to anything, it's to life itself. You've had so many close calls where you were way out on the edge, and yet you never went off the cliff. In fact, you often ended up in situations that you could never even have asked for since they were so new. God helps those who help themselves. If you are following your bliss, it will seem like magical helpers show up at just the right time. That has proved true time and again in your life, and you've seen it happen in other people's life as well. Surrender basically means doing your best and accepting what comes. If you resisted the urge to eat, you might experience awakening, and then you'd die. If you resist feeling your feelings, any awakening you experience will not last very long. If you think awakening means never again experiencing suffering, good luck with that. Even suffering is beautiful in a way. Life can be sad and beautiful at the same time, and often is. You have absolute control of your inner world. Your ability to respond to external circumstances or responsibility is always yours to control. However, the external world can be outside of your control. It can rain unexpectedly. A bird can poop on your car. You can stub your toe in a dark room. But the wise let the external do its thing and keep a firm grasp on their inner kingdom. Time exists within the timeless. When we die, we are reabsorbed into the timeless, where all time and all knowledge is accessible instantly in some sort of plane of existence which many describe as home. Somehow more real than this. It is possible that just like you may look at an object now, in the timeless you may look at a life and decide to play it. When in this role you choose, time begins anew for you. But there is no real time. It all exists at once. I'm quite certain that this moment, far from being simply now, is instead every now. It just appears that time moves, but it doesn't. It's your consciousness or awareness that shifts within the now. This reality or universe, then, is like a movie or a book, written but not read, recorded but not seen. When it is fully explored, maybe another book is written. Endless entertainment for the perpetually bored.